Russell's got everyone watching Star Trek.
Oh, dude, nice. This is kind of fun to see like the TV.
Well, it's just like low budget compared to nowadays.
I
Even the 90s versions with those melty heads and the portals and whatnot.
I started my channel today, and we talk just about sanity basically all the time.
Nice.
So like, I just am practicing like how to get material and things like that, or draw an audience. Even though I'm not at work, that doesn't bother me at all. I just like having it on and having people around that are comfortable with it on. So you guys, yes, exactly.
Russell would be great to have on it.
Dude, everybody. It's a total. I'm interested in every single person.
Yeah. It's gonna be
That's
awesome.
so cool. I know that we'll find beauty from all people at all different angles, so that's why I keep the camera on, because you never know. You know, you can go up and speak to it. You never know who's on the other side that might be listening.
Yeah. It's cool. Okay.
Okay. I love.
No sponsors.
Yeah.
To make money.
We're gonna. Yeah.
What is that? Water?
Bring a mass movement. People start talking about sanity, mentality, mental health stuff. Oh, you have flip too.
Yeah. Crawl over here for a second.
Yeah.
You want to try some of the ditching sauce?
Right now, imagine a Native American chief was standing in the corner. What would he be doing with this? Like, true. Here comes our first light beam. A violet flame. Saint Germain. Guys, I just want to say, I know it's not a good time because it's on camera, but if you guys, offer me any pot or whatever, drugs, just know that, I'm almost morally required to say no.
Oh.
Because that's the shaming that goes on in our culture. You know? We
Yeah.
shame drug users and think them worthless.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe sleep on the street.
Oh,
That's okay, not
yeah.
my problem.
Yeah. Totally. Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We'll remember that.
No drugs, but we need more humanity, more compassion.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe but let's see. It's open to talk about because this is an open channel, but I just want to say those words.
Flip. Macaroni. Hot dogs.
Sassafras.
Woo! Open sky.
Bottled bologna.
Sarsaparilla.
Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Little Orphan Annie. Patty Warbucks.
Yusuf, my autistic friend. My autistic Sufi friend.
Wow.
Yusuf. Yusuf the useless.
The Arabian prince who hardly spent his mind time here in the third dimension. He wasn't convinced. He was always off in outer worlds. Just only really pulled here when.
The party just got started.
Oh yeah! Oh my goodness!
Wow, let's get our cups.
Yeah, let's get cups. It sounds
Cups.
I got one.
good. Oh, here, there's two right here.
Oh, cool.
And
And I brought tea, so we can start using this thing.
Tea. I love tea.
Look at
can
this
have a
little
microwave.
red straw.
Wow.
Little red
Red straw.
whoa,
Wow, that's cool.
they're
Don't
usually
lose.
red. You never see them blue.
Yeah. Oh, I love red.
I saw a blue one the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's kind of cool, actually. No, not interesting. The thing I like about coffee cups and such, they tend to make really great percussion instruments. So if you're ever like walking somewhere or you're needing something to do, quite often you can just pull out a coffee cup.
Rap it, tap, 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 tap. How interesting to capture the chemtrails in that picture.
I know, I noticed that too, isn't it?
It's just really weird, yeah.
Isn't that strange? And then they put it in a hotel as if to say, look, we're leaving chemtrails.
Wherever we go. They're eating Chinese food over there. As soon as you open the door, it's like, wow. Whoa.
Oh, I can smell it through the wall. Maybe it's because I had some yesterday. It's in my gut.
Well, they said they seen Jeremy while they were flying. They're at Whole Foods.
Nice. I remember that dude.
Yeah.
Look how beautiful this is, man.
I looked at him.
This is yours, Zach?
He got that for Christmas.
Yeah, I got that for Christmas. Can I show you what it is?
Oh, yeah.
Check it out.
Okay, look at it. There needs to be a word for that moment when you look at sacred shapes and you shudder.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, it got cool.
Yes. Oh, check it out.
Oh! Why?
You don't want no knockout cookies. How are you? Here's the star of the show. Yeah, so are you? Just change my voice all of a sudden.
Hi.
All of a sudden, just
Very
sudden
good.
change my voice. You know?
You're here.
Hey, it's me. Hey, we're on TV.
Are we gonna jam?
Yeah, we're actually on a mental health network right now.
Mental health network?
Yeah,
What?
analyzing what the hell the mind is. Looking at the mind.
Okay. No. It isn't. Hopefully, yes. You want to come introduce yourself?
Hi, are we live? Are we filming?
Yeah, we're live.
Hi, my name's Russell Granson. How are you? Hi.
It isn't always so bad,
But when it does,
Yeah, trash it.
Yeah, and apple sauce.
No, it's everything. It's a different thing.
the theme is mental health.
The theme here is music.
Yeah, I'm like not exactly sure what it is. I just had this question today. I said, I think I'm insane. How do I check? And the response was like, film yourself for many, many days and years and see if it's.
Get behind it, actually.
Nice.
There's a little bit something going on there.
Wait, I didn't pay for any iridologist.
No, I'm not doing iridology. I'm doing the cyber stuff. You know, have you been doing any strange drugs lately? Because there's a mild crack in your third eye.
Oh,
Yeah. Have you been doing acid?
yeah,
Yeah, because are you like right now?
yeah.
Because there's a big flame coming out of your head.
Oh,
That's usually how you can tell people are on acid.
oh.
And there's a slight crack in your third eye. Hitler had that, but he was doing meth and cocaine. I think if you just do it, what's that? A button?
It's a wooden button. I like that.
I love buttons.
You'd understand. You just can't do too much of that stuff. You can't do too many bad chemicals, or it starts to kill off. They just showed Hitler on TV, and I studied it. I started 2 documentaries. This one's about his. It's called High Hitler. It's about his physical ailments.
Did we just get a
Hello.
What?
I'm on the wrong
You got
side.
some medicines, but you've got to take breaks.
What? What did you?
Yeah,
That's
that's
why
great.
the problem with
I'm
Hitler
so
is he was
glad
broke. He
that
was
was,
prescribed coke, and he was doing methamphetamines.
Oh yeah.
I saw it on TV. I saw the documentary. I see everyone's chakras. So they showed this footage of Hitler, and it's all time
Whoa,
sequential.
you see everybody's chakras. When did this start? When did you start being able to see people's
When I
chakras?
was 36, I did LSD.
One time you did LSD and you were able to see chakras for the rest of your life?
No, it was
Welcome.
the first time I did LSD was when I was 21, when I graduated college. The second time was when I was 36, and the third time was when I was 36. And there was a week between that time. But the second time I did LSD, I went to an alien world. And when I came back, these demons that I met said, "Don't come here ever again. We're going to kill you." So the next week I took less acid, but I started seeing everyone's auras and chakras. And then eventually started seeing their thoughts and secrets about them, which are in the 8th chakra. So anyway, I see everyone's chakras. So if I look at photos of historical figures, I can tell you what was going on at the time with them.
Oh.
And then there's been documentaries about Hitler on TV, and I've always been fascinated by Hitler because he's the most interesting. Like people talk about him not quite as much as Jesus, but they talk about him all the time. So they had a documentary which showed him sequentially, like during the war and during his rise to power. But it actually says above his head, Savior Messiah, because he was the Savior Messiah of the Germanic people. And he had a really large heart chakra, really good third eye, and a well-developed third chakra. He was a genius in certain ways. So many people who have a well-developed heart chakra and third eye, whatever they're doing with it makes things come true. Because the third eye is the builder. This is the builder, and this is like love. Anyway, so he saved the German people. The problem is, when he went to deal with England, he said to England, he said, let's not continue this war. Let's make peace between our two peoples. And he maybe done some bad things, but the people in France created him as a good warlord, because warlords in Europe usually would burn down Paris or destroy whole cities. And he didn't. He didn't treat the French like shit until later, right? So they wave flags. The French people, they show them waving flags. Anyway, Hitler's third eye and his heart chakra looked good, but then when England refused to cooperate, he got pissed, and he got stressed. He was overworked, right? Because he was kind of running the whole nation by himself. And his doctor started prescribing him cocaine. You see this crack in his third eye, like you have, but it was consistent. And then he decided, and it looked like they were also giving him meth. And I couldn't validate that, but then I saw in this new documentary today that they were giving him meth because the Nazis invented methamphetamines. So anyway, his third eye got really shitty looking, and he decided to invade Russia. And then when they invaded Russia, he told all the commanders, "You're not to blame if you murder whoever you want." Then he went from having a good heart chakra, like the third eye started collapsing, get shitty looking, and the heart chakra started to get shitty because it wasn't loving anymore. Before, he was loving the German people. And maybe it's going to sound weird, like loving people is a strange thing.
Yeah.
Like you could actually love someone by punching them in the head, right? Like, and Jesus, when he told people they were pieces of shit like the Pharisees, he was loving them. It was tough love. And when he beat up the money changers outside the church, it was the only way to help them. It was love, right? So he was still loving, but then when he started going into Russia and they started killing people, and then he started killing off the German people because invading Russia was the stupidest thing. It's like saying if you have like a finger who's I can take over the whole body. I can defeat your little finger can defeat the whole body. It just can't happen. So anyway, then he hit his heart chakra because the German people loved him and he loved the German people. But then he was killing off Germans and he was killing all sorts of people and he was only committing atrocities. And his third eye got worse and his heart chakra got worse, and that was the end of it.
That's really cool.
But up to the point where he
So
dealt
cool.
with England,
That's
and
actually
England
the
refused
second time
his
he's been in my hometown.
his saying, "I want peace." Up to that point, he had a really good third eye and he had just as good a heart chakra as anybody I've ever seen. Isn't that weird?
Yes.
Gandhi even praised him.
He
said, "Great things will come from this man, Hitler." And he was a vegetarian. He loved his dog. And he even said, "Look, listen, all you meat eaters, in the world in the future is going to be vegetarian." Isn't that trippy?
I'm glad that we can have discussion on this open judgment.
And you have a crack in your third eye like his, but the deal is you can do that, but just don't do it every day. And have good habits. And if that's what you're on, because I see the big flame above your head, if that's what you're on, take breaks, right?
Yeah.
Because Hitler didn't. He kept, and the problem is he ran into doctors. If you look at Goring, his right-hand man, he's in the photos too, in the films. His heart chakra is completely closed. And above Goring's head, it says sociopath. So he liked doing all the nasty things. And he probably egged Hitler on. He said, he probably egged him on. He's probably, kill and torture as many people as he can. And probably his doctors were like, hey, I'm going to give Hitler, whatever. Who knows what the deal was? But Hitler was on a good road and he shouldn't have just went on a terrible road.
Wow, I like to look at photos like before that time and after that time.
Well, they showed the whole footage. I saw on TV, they showed sequential footage, and I could see it because he's got a crack in his third eye like yours, but yours will heal as long as you only do medicines on occasion, right?
Yeah, of course.
And you can open your third eye. But if you
Yeah.
do too much, it ruptures,
Yeah.
right? And when I did that LSD, for 2 years I had wandered the streets of older homeless and had an LSD psychosis. And then I read up about, I read spiritual books until I figured out what happened to me and talked to Native Americans and hippies and had to just read a lot of spiritual books and go to jail because my guru, I said, why did I get arrested 10 times in 1 year? He said, because you needed a rest, right? And I opened up my third eye, or you could say I had an acid psychosis, whichever way you want to call it.
Wait, what was that second part? You could say you had a what?
I had a Kundalini opening
Yes.
that opened up my third eye via the
Yes.
LSD. And also, you could say I had an acid psychosis.
You could say it was an acid psychosis, like a loop back.
Well, no, what happens is I was raised scientifically. I didn't believe in any of that crap. I started hearing voices all the time. I started seeing things. I'd hear like 10 or 20 voices at a time. And I had to integrate that, right? And you can integrate anything if you hang long enough, you can get used to hanging and figure out what the deal is, right? So it took me a while to integrate it. There's no such thing as madness. It's just incapacity to integrate.
Yes. That's what I'm experiencing.
Yeah, that's my excuse.
Well, yeah,
too.
because I had an LSD psychosis. Carl Jung had a psychosis, but he didn't talk about it. He recorded it in a journal and posthumously published his red book.
Dude, I hear a lot about that.
But he became clairvoyant like me. He heard voices and he became clairvoyant. He started seeing things, but he just was quiet about it. He was a doctor, so he was quiet about it. He still saw patients. And he integrated the knowledge and kept notes about it and wrote about it in a journal. One of my friends read the red book and went crazy from just reading it. I wouldn't, because I used to think I might have been Carl Jung in a previous life because there's some similarities. I was Swiss in my last life. But I don't know. I might have just known him. But I digress. Yes, you got that crack in your third eye, which indicates it's being pushed or something. It's not going to break open unless you keep doing it, keep doing it. It smokes. If you had all sorts of bad habits, and look like Hitler was kind of encouraged to have bad habits by all sorts of psychoanalysts and doctors. That's it. Can't even see my head. I lost my head.
Man, if I had known that was live.
Who are we talking about?
My debit card. Hello. I found my debit card. It was in my pants. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
People in the heart chakra?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, they just relax. You practice
Yeah.
adjustment and get back.
I know. I have talked.
Instead, they usually go through emotional frenzies.
What's your name?
I've been.
Hi, Ben.
you see
I'm
that?
Kaya. I don't really
Yeah.
So now you understand, but
I found
you have to integrate this. You have to integrate it.
I accidentally
Whenever you
did
make
that
your gloss
today,
on,
though. I
you
should
just
put on
misplaced
pants.
it. Don't forget.
I have to get
Yeah,
that out.
right? Yes.
Because you just saw it right in front of your eye.
Where are you from?
Rhode Island.
Oh, cool.
Most people with heart chakra can't get it.
Yay.
They don't.
What brings you
They
up?
can't integrate the knowledge.
Just being
They're very
myself.
loving.
Nice. Amen.
Like,
That's really
consciousness
cute.
or higher knowledge.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Interesting.
You're gonna do both. I have to become more loving. You have to become more
Nice.
We started this channel just because we meet so many people. Everyone's so interesting. Like the idea is that everybody shines bright. Capture those moments. People see reflections of themselves in all of us. So it's just
Gaze not into the abyss, lest the abyss see you also. Frederick
Well,
Nietzsche.
I'm glad that they know that I found my debit card. I was looking for
That which
yours.
doesn't kill you
I
makes you
took out everything
stranger,
off the car.
longer,
Except for my phone.
stronger. The Lone Ranger.
And-
Frederick Nietzsche.
So now I have my
Battle not with
my
monsters,
phone
lest you
is on
become one.
Start Heart, and I am almost good to go.
So
I just need
don't
to
be so
end
mad
the
at Trump.
stream, and then I'm set.
Oh, yeah, life is wonderful.
Life
is wonderful.
You get to be as creative as you get to be.
Yeah.
What else balanced the chakras?
Exercise.
Cheetos.
Russell, can you see the dream that I had last night?
It looks like you're sticking a key in a locked door. That's what I see.
Okay.
Oh, and you're unlocking something, you're pulling out your heart.
Well,
That's what I see.
thank you.
I don't know if it's your dream, but that's what's above your head.
Awesome.
Your thoughts dream.
I'd say that that's pretty accurate.
You know what I want to do now?
You're also thinking about going to Australia.
We're in Sedona, right?
Yeah.
We have
could be wrong, but that's what it says above
multiple,
your head.
tens,
Oh my
if not
God,
hundreds of
Russell,
people
I didn't
that can read astral bodies.
Yeah.
So let's bring like an astral
Can I
reader in, read the thing, then leave. Another one come in, see if they can read the same thing or what else they can pick up. You know, this
That's
will build
fascinating.
this will build credential for people outside of the Sedona realm.
But really, what we need is someone who can do the heart, someone who can do the third eye. I can do the third eye.
Are there people watching this?
Kaya, you can do the heart, right?
No, no.
Not yet.
I can do the heart, right?
It's
Kaya?
day one.
What, the heart chakra?
Yeah, you can read via that. I mean, I know you do that.
I'm really
second,
overwhelmed right now.
you do that second chakra thing, but
Yeah. That got me into trouble.
Yeah. Not everybody has.
I can relate with that one, but it's just more primitive, less developed than you do.
Oh,
Because
well,
Alien Rich told me to feel people with that chakra as it grounds into the body more.
right. Hi, everyone. My name is Kaya. I love you.
Yeah, so
I
saw a
exist
documentary
in
about
this
Hitler.
universe just like you
And
do.
they were showing tonight. It was
And,
Hi Hitler. About the drug
yeah,
dealer.
last night I couldn't remember my
Yesterday I
dream,
watched
and it
just
really
looked like it said meth
started
about it.
to,
And they
you
said
know,
the
but I
doctor
did a really
prescribed
good job
cocaine. I was
because
like,
I woke up
So they were saying-
and
so they
I
were
knew
saying
that I was going to have a dream that I
and
needed
he had
to
go through
memorize,
clandestine
and
methods.
I
All they had to do
kind
was
of
just go on
guided
phone
myself
sessions.
out of my dream state,
Okay.
which was good in a less traumatic
So
way than
we
being
should have
like,
sympathy on all people. Then you're even saying on Hitler.
I'm awake
That's
now.
Sympathy,
What the
because this
fuck?
channel is kind of about like being
which
on
is
drugs,
sometimes
whatever,
how that's
and
happened.
being compassionate. with
Because
them.
as you know, the last month has been really intense in terms of dreams. So
And he really
yes.
loved them, and they really loved him. So his heart
And,
chakra is super
yeah.
large.
Wow.
Like
That's
like I said,
Jeremy.
he's got just as large a heart chakra as anybody. I've ever
Jeremy's
seen.
great.
And his heart chakra is bigger than most people I've seen currently.
Can I play this?
Until like he got into fight with, he got stressed with the drugs and got entangled and he got into stress with Russia. Then once he invaded Russia, he had no morality or goodness left. And it just kind of disturbed. He just kind of crumbled away.
Well, you know, I don't pose a good person to talk to much more in depth about this subject, although it intrigues me. I would pull somebody in right here who has read Mein Kampf and talk about how maybe Mein Kampf before any of that time, when he was just,
Oh, I see.
you know, he was already not such a heart chakra, you know, or where was the
Did you read Mein
misinterpretation?
Kampf?
Mhm. That's
Just
where I would
maybe-
bring somebody
Because
in.
it's determined from my struggle. I haven't read it, but you're right. Beautiful and loving.
Well, that's what you were suggesting, and it could potentially be that. I've heard of one person that's read it, and they were more like, no, he's kind of messed up.
Kind of messed up.
I
Meth
don't
go.
know.
But you know, I had a girlfriend who told me, and she said straight up, she said, "You got it wrong, Russell." She said that the Fourth Reich was, Hitler's Germany. They were the first people to take a stand against the World Bank because they had all these fines put on them by other countries, right? From World War I. And we all know the story in Germany. At the time, you had to go to get a loaf of bread. You had to go with a wheelbarrow full of
Wow.
And the Germans were starving, and they were being forced to eat all this
Yeah,
shit
it's
and die. And so he said, look, we're going to get back to loving ourselves and doing cool things.
Yeah.
And he even says, they showed this propaganda film where he says, I want total war, and the Germans agree with it. But he got them out of that, and he got the world out of the Great Depression. There were people in America who were shouting, you know, God bless Adolf Hitler, because with the war was the end of the Depression. So it's kind of weird, like, you think?
Hi.
And I'm not defending anything. Hey, Rich, so-
Why?
You need help?
We were coming to the back though.
You came to the back door. It's so funny.
I like it. Hey, Nathaniel, how are you?
buddy?
How are you, man?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, his hard truck is just as good as hers. Before that, we reached that point where we rushed.
Talk about Hitler. They just compared your heart chakra to Hitler.
Oh, free goodness,
Russian
Russian atrocities. Because he saved the German people, and he saved the end of the Great Depression. So it's kind of weird because a friend of mine said, you got to run that. He actually, he was the first guy to stand up and say, I said, no, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not going to look like that.
And I also invited,
And the German people mobilizing.
Yes.
Like I said, the people in France, they looked happy. He wasn't. He didn't burn down the city of Paris. He didn't commit any atrocities. He just defeated them efficiently, and that was it.
that would be
I'm
cool.
not saying
Yeah,
it's
I'd be more inclined to see
our chocolate.
That's usually when it's best.
I think
That's what I like about it.
I mean, it's kind of like.
Is that true?
Well, what I did by myself, as informed as a discussion as possible.
Because I've been looking at people historically, Rasputin had a great heart. He is a
Hey, I'm Ben, by the way. I'm not sure I think I've walked by all of you. And nice to meet you. Rachel, hi.
It's yours?
We put a camera that's recording everything just because it's a mental health awareness project where everything's out in the open. Any subject can be discussed, and it's just a grounds for.
Oh, I was like.
It has a very positive vibe to it, and it will all get sorted out what it means, and it's just it's an avenue. Yeah,
You know, as far as musicians go, the Beatles all had like these super well developed third eye chakras, and their eyes were well developed, taking a really good acid. And their heart chakras were all connected by a cord. They had really big heart chakras, and they were all connected until like 1969. The manager died, and Paul McCartney took over as his manager, and he was trying to save the Beatles, and his heart chakra closed. They all had big heart chakras, and cords, acid cords connected them, and their eyes looked like acid trips, like this. And then in 1969, that was the end of it. Paul McCartney tried to save it. Too much stress on his heart chakra closed.
Jeremy, what's the most common?
Because they were all about, they were all saying all you need is love and all this other stuff. Because the heart chakras are enormous. They were doing Maharishi's transcendental meditation, but also taking even drugs. So they had the money. So the third eyes and the eyes had really swirly happening. So you know what?
I'm okay.
Timothy Reese's active. He said
I
super
might get some when I get out. You guys need it for water?
Yeah, it's changing.
I'll
He is
get some
right.
when I come out.
That's still happening. That's still happening. You know, like the love is becoming apparent. How to love,
Yeah.
where to love. Well, always to love, but where to love from maybe. Break up.
Yeah, your heart chakra's got cracked. I didn't see it. Yeah, it's got a crack.
Well, he's just always had a little bit of crack. And I'm working on healing that.
I know a trick, and I know it intellectually, but the trick is to just be loving.
2 weeks.
Because that's easy, because of the chakras. You just love people.
Well, I mean, I think first,
And you can just be happy.
pop it up.
All you need is love. It's a trick because I can see it. You know, it's awesome. So, you know, right now, Osho once said, "Breathing is wisdom." You really quick and just that's not exactly how people love.
Yeah. The best video on YouTube.
Oh, this is like one of those S1.
I'm a recovered heroin addict of 5 years. That's related to mental health. And yeah, it's definitely possible to help yourself feel better with things.
Yes. Everyone was locked in a room and they had to hang out and be real with each other. And they weren't allowed to go to the bathroom for like a day. Yeah, yes. Everybody wanted to be real.
It's like for me, it has a lot to do with the more video that you get, the more you realize how much we ourselves think about other people. So it's trying to like kind of get this idea about how much we think about each other, and how much we want to support each other. And so I see that in my life so much. I think it will expand around that the whole world will see how much we actually care for one another and how much we want to improve upon our lives together and have fun with what we are and improve what we are, enjoy what we are, be what we are.
Did you break your left foot? It's good. I was trying to figure that out. Are you
I
left-handed?
had to lean on
Are you left-handed? Sometimes I see sometimes people have energetic differentiation in place. I don't know what it is. I was just curious.
it. I'm just curious, like the way you see it, like will my energy now change? Like, because well, I was leaning purposely on my left foot, so now that I'm going back to my right, I'm curious if in like 5 minutes or something, it'll be like, oh,
But it's first things gonna happen that you ground you more on one foot than the other foot. People that are left-handed, they're more grounded in their left leg. You know, because I'm left-handed, so I'm left-legged. But I don't know. That's something I have a question about.
I think I'm holding like a trauma in here, or I'm holding emotions right here, so I tend to lean more on my left hip than my right hip because I haven't figured out how to unlock that. That's
Because you're not feeling stuff, so you're making it larger. Probably for a second you feel, oh, I love her, and then the next second you think, oh, I've lost her, and then it breaks your arm. And then the next second you think, oh, I'm mad at her, because her arm makes her go down these trousers. You know what I mean?
well, I am very I'm very like materialistic, like I care about myself and I'm always trying to think about myself in a good positive view. And so if somebody walks out on my life, or if there's just so much friction that for a moment I walk out on somebody else's life, like I'm still here, I'm still present, I'm still, doing my best. So
You should just live in the now and practice non-attachment. That's what our show's been about today, Jeremy. We had a show today. The theme was non-attachment. It was a secret hidden theme. I forget. It was Jeremy was going to the bathroom and he's not attached to his. Because he went to the bathroom a lot. And I was like, what's this got to do with non-attachment? And I suddenly had an aha moment. There might be a B plot. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's something alien kidnapping. Yeah. Don't go to Whole Foods. Yeah, aliens are there. Within Lone Star. That sounds like
even if you were an alien, it's our job to love you just the same. That's what my practice is. I love you just the same. I love you to the best of my sanity.
Nice.
There's a Wookiee Book song called Plead Insanity. Want to be with the rest of humanity, so I guess I'm on They're very sarcastic.
Hey, you. Hey, it's our show again. We didn't have our show for a little while. Yeah, but it was just like a commercial, maybe. Yeah. Now we're having our show again. Look, he brought his audience. Great, nice. Okay, well, my name's Russell. This is Jeremy, and we're having a show today. And everyone else, of course, having a show today too. Yeah, we've been having a show all day long today. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. I'm glad that you're on our show, but there'll be no money exchange. Just turn back in. There's something about on your death.
Real Achieve what?
Total consciousness.
Total consciousness.
It's like
That's a big reward.
It's like what Bill Murray was talking about getting for the domino.
See, now is the chance where I would throw out your Instagram feed or something. You know, where can they follow your content?
My name is Russell Branston on Facebook. On Gmail, rbranston@gmail.com. I'm a nice young man. I do psychic readings. I am the future. I'm just kidding. I'm actually living the now.
You want to?
Oh, I just almost fell. That's
Oh,
why I was
okay.
making that little sound. You have
Like
something
that.
in your ear? It's the button you gave me. Oh,
Can you
nice.
tell the story before you started to say that?
That's what I call that.
I'm a nice guy.
Oh, it's an affirmation. Cleverly designed to keep myself from aging.
Oh, okay.
I think it's working.
I heard AJ say that a lot.
Yeah, he's a nice young man. He was a lot of fun. Hey, I'm a nice young man too.
Me too.
That's when I was possessed.
Oh, what was possessing you?
Nice young man.
Like, serious.
Nice. Oh well, we were right along. We can talk about it if you want to, but we don't have to.
Well, after the twin flame left to go travel.
Dude, I think I have the answer for our entire show today. It's right on your t-shirt. It's like what that thing you made. When he showed reveals that he was his heart chakra the whole time. He thought he was his body and the chakra. He was his heart chakra. So that's, I think that's okay. Yeah. But you went crazy recently?